All right. Thank you for tuning into this thing which I'm doing. I've got my first interview today. I'm actually going to be interviewing our Chamber of Commerce for Oneida County. It's Mandy Hess. Let me bring her in right now. Hi, Mandy.
Hi, Lauren.
How are you doing?
Doing wonderful.
Good to hear. So, what is the Chamber of Commerce?
So, Chamber of Commerce is a community made up of business owners in the local area that help to promote the well-being of local businesses, help to bring new businesses into the area when possible, and we strive to network together to be able to keep businesses steady and growing.
Okay. Do you know how long Chamber of Commerce has been here in Malad? That's
So, I have records that go back to, if I'm correct, like the 70s.
wow. That's pretty
So
cool.
we have had a chamber for many years, um, and we just need to let people know that we are back and running, and we're here to support local business.
Yeah. I noticed previous years the chamber sponsored different events like the Easter egg hunt and different things like that. Is that normally what a chamber does?
Not typically. So I know historically in Malad, the chamber has been behind a lot of those community events throughout the many years. When the new board stepped up, we decided we wanted to get back to basically the grassroots of what a chamber is. Because of COVID, things had changed. The chamber was no longer doing those events, but other entities in town stepped up to make sure that the community still had those. We have the EMTs that do the Easter egg hunt for us now in the city, of course, the 4th of July and all that fun stuff. And then there are two main events, though, that we do sponsor because they help the businesses quite a bit. And one of them is the car show on Main Street, which is in June. And then we brought back the Festival of Trees as well.
Oh, nice. All right. So where does the chamber get its revenue from?
So our revenue comes through membership dues for the most part. We have chosen to lower our membership dues because most of the things that we are able to provide for our business owners are free of cost. We have been able to bring business classes that come through other state entities that those classes are provided for free. So a lot of the things that we're able to offer basically just takes a little bit of time and dedication, not a lot of cost. So we're striving to be a positive influence on our businesses, but not being a hindrance on the pocketbook. And then also the car show and the Festival of Trees is one area that we do use for raising funds, but we put those funds right back into the community.
Nice. So being part of the chamber, no one on the chamber gets any salary or anything. Is that accurate?
That's correct. There are technically no paid positions. However, it is in our bylaws that if the treasurer decides to take a little bit of a salary, we can decide on like how many hours and what the pay would be. But then they would not be a voting member of the chamber.
Okay. That way they couldn't vote themselves as a raise or anything.
Yes.
All right. So how many businesses are members within the chamber?
Right now we have about 28. We have a lot of small businesses in Oneida County, which we try to encompass obviously all of Oneida County, not just within the city limits of Malad. Since COVID, we've noticed a big jump in like home-based businesses or your direct selling businesses. And I know that there's a lot of misconception that people don't believe these are like real businesses because they're not brick and mortar, but online businesses really tend to be the trend these days. Most of these people work events. They'll go to like the rodeo and any vendor event that they can get. But another misconception is they still pay taxes, and those taxes do go directly to our state and our community and things like that. So when you are supporting a direct selling business, you're still supporting small business, because those funds are helping a mom or a dad pay for their kids' local sports fees, dance lessons, things like that. So the support still stays local all the way around.
Nice. So where is there a list of businesses that are on the chamber that one could go to and see those businesses?
Yeah, so we have a website. It is shopmalad.com, and it is listed under businesses that does have all of our chamber members listed, plus a few extra that may be like government type entities or things like that. And we try to keep that updated at least once a month, or if we know we have new businesses coming in, but we also put our events there as well.
Okay. So is the slightly off topic, is the chamber part of Oneida County government at all, or is it a completely separate?
So the entity of the chamber doesn't fall under like the same governing guidelines as what you'd be considered a municipality government or a local government, like your city council, and other things like that. So we have basically a different set of rules that we have to follow. We are still held accountable to a lot of things. We still have to report to the state, and there's a lot that we still have to do, but it's not a like official government entity, if that makes sense. We do elect our officers. They vote them in. Mm-hmm. So we have basically term limits, I guess you could say, as part of our bylaws. We do have bylaws that we have to follow, and those bylaws are binding. We have a copy of those that are turned into the state, as we have to do an annual audit report as to who the members are and who not just the board members, but our presidential. We have 5 elected officers, mm-hmm. and so we have to report who those are and everything in the bylaws. So that way, if in the off chance there's any issues, those are on hand with the state that can be seen.
Okay. Yeah, you said you guys are elected in. Who elects you, and when are the elections?
So it's not like your typical like election campaign for city council, mayor, things like that. You're elected just by the board members of the chamber. Mm-hmm. Any business member who is on the chamber is technically considered a board member. We do have a limit of how many board members we can have, and we do have a minimum as well. But those are the ones who elect in. You have a president, a vice president, a secretary, a treasurer, and a public relations officer.
All right. So if I were to pay my dues and become part of the Chamber of Commerce, I would then be automatically on the board until we reached the maximum number of board members?
Yes, correct.
Okay. Awesome. So what benefits would there be for someone to join the chamber as a business? So
the things that we like to do is we advertise the chamber as a whole, and everything directs back to our website. Within that business directory, we try to make sure that we're linking those businesses, either Facebook pages or their websites and things like that. We also have a published book. Well, it's not us, it's one that we are in. It's the Malad Discovery Guide. I know they've been around. I don't know if everybody's seen them. They're done by a guy named Jack Johnson out of Logan, Utah, and he lists all the businesses and things like that. And we pay to have basically a chamber standing in there.
Okay.
And then, of course, we advertise locally in the newspaper and things like that. And there are some times on our Facebook page where we like to spotlight businesses as well. But in order to encompass everybody as fully as we can, we just guide everybody back to the chamber page, because then that gets everybody.
Awesome. So if a business ever has any issues with its business, with government offices, with selling things or marketing, are there any things that the chamber can do to help with those struggles that a lot of businesses have?
Absolutely. So one of the things that we're working on this year is educating ourselves in those things that affect businesses. So within the city limits, a business has to have a business license. We're educating ourselves to make sure we know what requirements come with a business license for different types of businesses. And also within the county, if you're building a brick and mortar business, you do have to go through planning and zoning, building permits, things like that. So we just help navigate those waters and make sure they understand the paperwork that they're filling out. And if we're to a point now in some areas that if they have struggles, we can help them get over those hurdles, just with education and experience.
Okay. So see if I can form this question properly. What is your long-term goal for planning and zoning? How would you
Chamber.
what did I say?
You said planning and zoning. It's okay.
Oh, sorry. You had mentioned that previously. How would you make the chamber grow? What can you do to make the chamber succeed more to then again help the businesses that are then part of the chamber?
So one of the things that we would like to focus on in the upcoming years is giving our businesses an avenue to be able to network with each other. Being in a small community, a lot of our business owners already know each other. They already talk, they already share ideas, what worked for us, what didn't work, things like that. So one of the other things that we're doing is providing networking events for these business owners to be able to come and share information, share ideas. I think one of my favorite parts is the fact that we are so diverse in the chamber members we have, because we have not just your small business owners, but we have realtors. We have people with legal experience. We have a whole plethora of backgrounds that are coming together to help promote business unity and growth in our community. Because one of the biggest complaints that we've heard through the years is that they don't feel like they get a lot of support from other local entities when it comes to the business district. And so we want to make sure that they feel supported and that they know that there's someone in their corner for them.
No, that makes perfect sense. And with a small community like we have, it's so important for people that are trying to start a business that's not online, to be able to get the word out there, to let you know, or let everybody know, hey, I've got wool for you to.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. We want to be able to connect those small, even like your agricultural or farm-based businesses, with the local community. Make sure people know that they're there, because through the years, I've realized that there's a lot of people that don't know what there really is in Oneida County. Just as an example, we have a lot of fine printing businesses. We have Lacey with Mountain Peak, who does her t-shirts and hats, and they do special orders and things like that. Like we have all these what we would call little people that a lot of people don't know they exist. So as one of our other tasks is, like, as we're scrolling Facebook, personally, not necessarily as a chamber, we try to make sure that we're pointing people who are asking questions for certain services to our local businesses that provide those services.
Awesome. So has the Chamber of Commerce ever sponsored like a farmer's market in Moab?
Well, so not directly. In the past, before I was on the chamber, I know that there was a group trying to get one started. We've actually sat down with a couple different people to try to figure out what we can do to bring a successful farmers market to Malad. And there were a lot of obstacles that we couldn't solve at that moment. One of them being, we actually need more bodies. Like, we need people who can make things happen. So that's also another crucial point and part of the chamber, is having people to do this. One of the biggest things with a farmer's market, produce is always asked for right off the top. Like, everybody wants to know where produce is. Why don't we have any produce? So ideally, I would like to see some of our small town growers. We have 2 or 3 of them in the valley. We have Maddox Farms that they do produce and stuff in the fall. And then Wendy with I cannot remember the name of hers off the top. She's down in Sherry Creek. Wendy John, she has produce that she does as well. So if we could get people like that to help kind of head up those farmers markets and those organizations, I think we'd be able to be more successful.
Okay. Yeah, I remember going to farmers market, was it 2 or 3 years? It might have been before COVID. I don't know. My mind is having a Biden moment or something. Yeah, it was a little bit sparse, but I think the Edlifsons brought in
Yes.
a lot of produce from, I think, Washington.
Yes.
And it was great. I really liked
Yep.
what was there.
Yes. Yeah. And our thing right now is just getting consistent, because the chamber is all volunteer. And we realize that what helps our business is going to help other businesses grow. So if you think about it, there really is something in it for everybody. It's just how much work are you willing to put in helping not only just your business, but the other businesses around you. But I think just the commitment and consistency is huge.
Definitely. I agree. So I come from a dairy farm / beef ranch background, and I fairly recently learned that our beef ranchers cannot sell beef directly to people by the cut. They can only sell, the individual can only buy USDA inspected meat by the cut,
Mm-hmm.
or a beef rancher can sell like a quarter animal or a half an animal.
Yes.
And but they have to sell it to them live, and then it can be discussed.
Yep. And then it goes to the butcher, and then the buyer takes care of things from there. Correct.
Yeah, that's super annoying
It is.
for everybody involved, especially if you don't have enough freezer space for a half a cow.
Absolutely.
So is there anything the Chamber of Commerce could do for that?
Well, one of the things that we could do is just make sure that we beef up and know what the USDA regulations are for those local producers, and just being able to guide them in the right direction. I do know that we do have a couple of local farmers that do have businesses and websites set up for being able to sell theirs, but it's like you said, a lot of it's the same way. A lot of your local farmers say, hey, I have a cow ready, at this time, let me know if you want on the list or whatever, because that was one of the hardest things through COVID, was watching not just like the financial fall of our area in the nation, but also watching the struggle of those farmers who that was their livelihood, was being able to sell the beef at the end of the season and stuff like that. And I've noticed an uptick in a lot of regional ranchers not sending their beef off to market because they can profit more by doing it, like you said, locally, and just selling to their neighbor and things like that. So I do see a huge uptick in that. So we just, as a chamber, just need to make sure that we are educated on the legalities of what can and can't be done to be able to help those people.
Yeah. Would the chamber be able to help do like a connection between consumer and producer?
Absolutely. Yes, we can definitely be a middle guy to help get those things taken care of, to help point people in the right direction. When people are looking for locally raised and grown beef, we can make sure that we're getting them to the right ranchers, cattle ranchers and whatnot. So that way they're getting what they want.
Awesome. All right. I can't think of any other questions that I have off the top of my head. Was there anything else that you wanted to share? Well,
if I could just put a little plug in, on August 8th, we're having a midsummer mingle down at the city park in the pavilion. And it's just going to be an opportunity for local business owners. You do not have to be a chamber member to come and to join us for the night, but it's at 6:30, August 8th. At the Malad City Park in the pavilion, and we're just going to have some light refreshments, and we're going to have a couple of topics to kind of spark some interest and get some dialogue going. But we just want to see people get together and mingle and be able to know who their local fellow businessman is in Oneida County.
Oh, nice. I like it. Oh, well, actually, I did see a post for a natural food fair happening on September 7th.
Yeah, I think that's Christy Evans. It was actually, I think it's August 7th. I think it's the day before. So that's Christy Evans that's doing that. She's doing natural supplements and clothing and stuff like that. Yeah.
Okay. Is that part of the
That's, yeah,
chamber?
the chamber has, yeah, that she's doing that completely on her own. That's nothing the chamber is involved in.
Oh, okay. Cool. I'm all for natural stuff, so that's
Agreed.
awesome.
Agreed.
All right. Well, I appreciate you jumping on here and having a little conversation with me about the chamber. I feel I gained a little bit of knowledge and understanding of what's going on, and hopefully everyone else that views this will as well.
Well, I appreciate it. Thank you, Lauren.
No problem. I'll talk to you later.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah, bye. So there we have it. My first interview ever, and my interview with the Chamber of Commerce president. I was happy with how that went. I think everyone else will as well, because it's great to learn stuff. And please, if you like what I have to say, like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you later. Bye.